Action.
Hi, I'm Emily Ross, LPC. On today's video, we're going to be talking about surviving holiday stress with toxic family. I'll be giving you some pointers and tips on that. But first, I'd like for you to like and subscribe and make sure to hit the thumbs up for this content. It really matters more than you think. And if you're ready to join the conversation over on Facebook, we've been having great conversations about what we were afraid of leading up to the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday, and how we managed. And it's really just a supportive environment. We'd love to have you over there. If you're ready to join the conversation, look for the link in the description. Okay, so 10 tips for surviving holiday stress around toxic family. A lot of us get together with family members that we tend to avoid most of the year around the holidays, and so I thought it would be helpful for us to talk about some ways to manage that. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you a little bit about each, and then I will go into different videos for each of the 10 that we need to kind of expound on, because the first one is set clear boundaries. And so I feel like if I'm like, hey, go set clear boundaries, y'all are going to be like, I don't know how to do that, or I think I do that, but it's not working. So I'm going to use Mr. Man here. He's my buddy. Mr. Man will help us learn how to set boundaries around toxic family. So number one is set boundaries. And that's nice, but maintaining boundaries is even more important, because if you set them and then you just don't maintain them, it's not going to work. So that's number one. Second one is practice deep breathing. If you've watched my videos, you've been noticing that no matter what kind of alternative or non-traditional practice we talk about, they all mention breathing. The central nervous system gets activated when we're in stressful situations. So that's not just when somebody has PTSD. It's in any stressful situation, there's a central nervous system response. And one of the things that happens is we start to breathe really shallow, short breaths. And the way our body works is a biofeedback system. And so if I'm breathing short like that, my body thinks I'm still stressed out. So one of the ways you can hack into that biofeedback is by just taking deep, full breaths, right? Just breathe in, breathe out. And you can do that right at the dinner table. You can do that in the middle of Black Friday shopping. You can do that anywhere, right? So we'll get deeper into that one too, deep breathing. Next one is to focus on the positive. Amy, I'm going to love that. I'm going to ask your hype man to come out. I'm going to have your hype man be super present for you the entire holiday season. I want you to capitalize on that. We'll learn things like assuming positive intent and why that's important. So that's number 3. Number 4 is to have an exit plan. So important when you're in a situation that you think might not be good for your mental health, to have a plan or a strategy in place for how to leave if it gets too much, right? You don't want to have to be dramatic or sneak out. We'll work on just having an exit plan. So that's one too. Next one is self-care. I will always come back to self-care. Self-care is the way that you show yourself that you matter and that your mental and physical health are worth your time and attention. And if you don't have a consistent self-care practice, it's not too late to start right now. It's not even December yet. We can get a self-care practice in place, and that will buffer you more than you know. I think that's one of my favorite things with clients who are like, I don't really believe this is going to work. And then they come back and they're like, wow, this 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day really makes a huge difference. So we'll focus on self-care. Next one is bringing a buffer. I love this one. So if I'm going to an event, whether it's like a work party or anywhere that I feel like might be uncomfortable or stressful for me, bring a buffer. I can bring Matthew, and he'll get a headache and he'll have to leave. He'll help me with my exit plan, right? But bring a buffer. Bring somebody there that you know is on your side. It's like bring a physical hype man with you. That's another strategy. Next one is gratitude. Gratitude's a tough one for me. So gratitude versus toxic positivity. We'll talk about that more when we get to that section, but focusing on gratitude and on what's going well in the moment, that can act as a buffer for holiday stress as well. Next one is, what are we on, number 8? Number 8. Number 8 is limit alcohol consumption. I know that when we go into stressful situations, a lot of us will reach for a drink to take the edge off or to kind of make it feel more comfortable or, as a way of connecting to somebody else. Like, oh, what are you having to drink? Drinking is, I have 2 really least favorite coping skills. Drinking and sleeping is really my 2 least favorite. They work in the moment well until they don't work, and they actually cause more problems in the long run. Both of them actually cause more problems in the long run. But you want to stay clear-minded when you're going to be in a situation that's stressful. You want to have your wits about you, and you want to make sure you don't say and do things that you will regret having said and done, because that's just going to add to that toxic cycle that we're stressed out about being involved in the first place. So we will give you some tips and pointers for how to stay sober during the holidays when we get to that one. And number 9 is mindfulness. If you have been watching this content, we've been focusing a lot on mindfulness. We're trying to bring a free mindful meditation class to Beaumont. That's where I live, Southeast Texas. And eventually we'll try to live stream those. But mindfulness is so good for mental health. It can help you with a plethora of mental health ailments. And if you have a consistent mindfulness practice, when you go into stressful situations, it gets very routine or automatic to jump into those in the moment. So it teaches me that a thought comes in, I have the thought, and I can let it wash through. I can let it go. It doesn't have to stick or stay. I get a lot of power and control over how long thoughts I don't appreciate or thoughts that feel hard for me stay in my mind. And so you can picture yourself around toxic family and all this chaos going on, and imagine yourself in the center of that, just full of peace. That's what we'll cover during the mindfulness part. And the last one, number 10, is aftercare. When you leave a situation that's been hard, or if you leave a situation, say you go in, you're all wound up and you think it's going to be awful, and you go in and it's magnificent, your body was still revved up from that. Your central nervous system still came to the show. Remember that little stage and all the people who came to the show? Your whole central nervous system showed up for that show, and it needs help standing down. And so taking care of yourself afterwards, even if it went magnificent, 10 out of 10, you couldn't have scripted it better. Even if that's the case, you need to help your central nervous system to re-regulate. So we'll talk about aftercare. That could be chatting with a friend. It could be, we'll get into more later, but I'm always going to encourage you to re-regulate your central nervous system after a stressful event, because it really does prevent a lot of things from moving up permanently. And if you develop that as just what you do, it's helpful for you in maintaining your wellness. I'm not just trying to teach you how to be well in this moment. I really want to teach you skills that will help you be mentally and physically well no matter what trials and obstacles come along in your life. So those were 10 things to help you survive stress with toxic family during the holidays, or really ever. But so we will spend the rest of this week the rest of the month really, I think, going over these different 10 components and diving deeper into them and giving you really specific tools on how to help yourself with these. So if you have questions or comments, or there's something you didn't understand quite yet, or you want to add to this list, I would love you to add to this list. And like I said, join the conversation over on Facebook. Be part of the solution in normalizing mental health. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Emily Ross, LPC. That's the fabulous Matthew Ross, director, producer. What else are you? Content developer.
I'm the key grip.
Who's the key grip? I don't really know what that means.
Nobody does.
Oh, who's the key grip?